Calling this meeting of the Crooked Creek Art League to order. If you're eating, go ahead and eat. I've got some announcements to make first, and I'd like to welcome everybody that's here and welcome to the Zoom also. So, Karen Larrabee needs our prayers. She's doing our new member, but her son was diagnosed with colon cancer. He's 38 in Ohio, so she is going to probably not be as present as she normally is because she's going to be taking care of him during the chemo part or the treatment part. Just kind of what she said. So she was going to come home and then go back, but please keep her in your prayers because that's kind of a traumatic thing, and all of us are stunned, so and shocked, and she was definitely. I'm going to ask that if you haven't opened any of the emails from the league, please do so you can subscribe or be reactivated. If you're not getting the news and the update, it's because you're not opening things. So please do so. That right, Sandra? That's what I wrote down from you. We need people to serve on the board next year. So those of you who are willing, and thank you, Stephanie, because I know she has already agreed. We need people to volunteer to take some of these positions because we don't need to have the same people year after year, even though it looks good and we run smooth, we still need more people involved. And the one thing you need to know is that you won't be alone. We will be there for you and we will help you through anything that you need. So, you're not going to be abandoned, I promise you. So if you get a chance, please let anybody on the board know that you're interested, and we will be having a board or a group that's going to be in charge of putting people in positions. So, but if there's something that you're good at that you could help, please. I can't be president another year, so.
Even if you just want to learn.
That's right. I can't do it again. I will be parliamentarian, so I'm going to be right there beside you. Okay? Just know, I cannot be president again. We have room in our 3 remaining workshops. The February is a pastel workshop, and I'd love, to have more people register.
Our neighbor.
We have room in the other 2 also. So please, if you plan to do one of these workshops, let's get set up and registered so we can not have to cancel one. But I don't think anything is in danger of being canceled at this point. We had to cancel one early this year, but the last workshop went really good. But look on the website; it's got all the information.
I'll think of it in a second.
The Irmo Library exhibition comes down next Saturday. Do not forget to come pick up your work. If you can't come, send somebody, but let us know who's coming to get it. And that starts from noon to 2:30, right? Where Diana go? Noon to 2:30, right? Oh, 10 to 12, excuse me. Woo, I'm giving the wrong time. I'm so sorry. But I thought I wrote it down, but I'm not seeing it. So I just. Because you're going to be pulling into their parking garage, and everybody is still hopes and wants to go anywhere has to come down that loop to go out. So we need people to come. We're going to get you things. You're not being able to get out of the car. Hopefully, make sure you have put your tag on the back of your artwork so that everything will go smoothly. Judging will be that following day on the 4th. And then the next Saturday is the reception. And everybody is invited. Everybody is invited. I think in the past, people think, well, I didn't have anything in there, I don't need to go. Yeah, you do. You need to come and you need to see what it's like. And we've got a lot more awards this year, and we got a lot of people. We are giving door prizes. You might be lucky. You might be lucky, but the reception will be Saturday, the 10th, from 4 to 5:30. And there is some invitations over there with the map as to where to park to come in. But please, if you get a chance, please come and support Still Hopes if you can. Because, I mean, last year we had over 75, 80 people total. That's counting their membership and us. So it's there, and there's nice refreshments. There is a couple of adult beverages that's available also that you can have along with at the reception with the refreshments. So please remember that. Is there anything else with Still Hopes? Oh, friends. Okay. If you have prints available of what you have entered in Still Hopes, and you want them to know that prints are available, if you will notify Bobby or Diana ASAP, so they put an asterisk by your name by Friday. So that's going to be in, and that way if you got that, then they can contact you and you can sell a print instead of your framed work, or you can sell your framed work and then somebody else wants it and you can sell a print. So just an opening for you if you're interested. All right, anything else?
Going back to the library pickup, my frame that I on my calendar says 12:30 to 2. Can you get clarification on the exact?
I'm pretty sure it's
It is 12:30 to 2.
12:30 to 2.
Okay, that's possible, yeah, that's at the library.
Yeah, library is pick up after, because we have to go take it down first.
Thank you, sorry.
That's why I started to say that 12:30 to 2. I knew I had it in my mind for some reason. All right, jury show chairman, Kay and Laney. They have our judges. Kate Aubrey is the art judge and Robert Matheson is the photography judge. Our student judges are Mallory Shoemake from the University of South Carolina and Kaya Burrell from Benedict. Please get ready, get your pictures, make sure you have your MIG status, because in that you got to have MIG status, which means you had to have attended 3 meetings and have paid your dues. And the 3 meetings started last year in April. So April, May, September, October, November, December counts. December counts. Christmas party. We'll get told about that in a few minutes. So it counts. Alex has an announcement to make for us. I told you to come.
Well, I don't like to talk in front of people. Okay.
Microphone.
Gotta give me-
No, this way.
I don't want to bring.
I want to see you do the limbo though.
Oh, that? Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, this is weird. Okay, so we have just received a $2,000 grant from the Greater Chapin Community Foundation. And that Sonia's not here though.
She's online.
Oh, she's online. Hi, Sonia. Sonia and myself and Maureen, it was the fastest grant writing. We did it in 1 day and got it in. So it was really amazing. And this is for, the money is for Still Hopes and for the jury show. So we have $2,000 for that. So yay.
That's amazing, and we just got that notification, so we're real excited about that. Okay, Barbara, Community Art Project.
All right, community art project. I spent my afternoon with representative of the town of Chapin today. We toured all over the place and we were picking out locations for the big community art project piece that we had the grant funding received for. And yes, I did say locations because we have a grant for doing one piece. But the Chamber of Commerce and the town of Chapin like what we're doing so much, they're going to kick in a matching amount. We're going to do 2 pieces.
Wow.
So we're finalizing the agreements with the locations and the artists. So I'm not going to say who or where yet, but it's about to all come to fruition, and we're very, very excited about it. So those will be new additions to the Chapin Art Trails.
Be a great Christmas present.
Another one.
To have all of that, yeah, to have all of that determined. Yep. Public galleries, make sure you get down your pictures from the tap gallery tonight. And I think the theme right now is colors. So if you brought pictures tonight, fall. So, sorry. So if you got that, make sure you put that up before you leave. Fundraising, just so you know, other than the 2,000, we already have over $4,000 that is in from people who are sponsoring us with our shows. We got a couple of patrons, which means they donated 1,000, and they're in with us. They love what Crooked Creek does. And in saying that, I got to tell you, when we were over at Still Hope the other day, the lady we were dealing with said to tell you, she said, we really like Crooked Creek. Said, y'all seem to have it going. Said, everybody else just kind of blah. But she wanted us to know that she was real excited about our group and all the energy that we have and all the things that we do. So I just, that came to mind. We're not going to have a report from Karen, but I will ask, if you are a new member or this is your first meeting, would you please stand and let us identify you? So we'll get to know you. All right, start.
My name is Joe Richburg. I joined in August online, but I've been out of town for all the other meetings. This is my first time. I visited a couple of years ago, but didn't join, but anyhow, joined this time.
Oh, we're glad you're here. Thank you. What medium? What medium?
Acrylic.
Okay, acrylic. All right.
My name is Kathy Schwab. I joined last November, but this is my first one.
Okay, Kathy Schwab. And your medium?
Oil.
Oil.
And
Okay. Oil.
Pam Merrill, and we are new here, and I just wanted to support the arts, and I've just started painting for the first time, but I do a lot of woodwork and sword work, and I just kind of like to, if I see something interesting and I think, oh, I might could do that, I jump in, whether I can or not. But I was really, been excited about meeting y'all and maybe learn.
We love it. So a warm welcome to all of our new members and guests. Refreshments, make sure Christmas party is coming. Everybody should bring something for Christmas, and there is a sign in for January's meeting. If you don't mind contributing to the refreshments for January, please sign. It's on the table over there. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the most important person I know right now, Deborah Kelly, our Vice President.
I think that's just because I'm going to talk about the Christmas party. this is the first item on my agenda is to make sure that everybody knows about our Christmas party that's coming up on December the 12th from 5:30 to 8 p.m. We're lucky to obtain the community room at the Chapin Town Hall. So we have plenty of room. So that means that you can come and bring your spouse if you want to, or significant other. So we want to get some sort of idea, however, about the number of people that might be attending. So if you could let us know if you're going to attend,
Show of hands tonight.
we could get a show of hands today. Again, this is December the 12th from 5:30 to 8.
Two.
Can somebody give me a count?
I have a question about, I have an ex-spouse, so can I just bring a plus one?
Yeah.
Yes, a plus one is fine.
All right, raise them high for our count. So Monday night.
Yeah.
And this is a week earlier than our usual meeting would be in the month. So it's December the 12th.
Okay, people online too.
Raise your hand if you're coming.
Yes, please raise your hand if you're coming.
People on Zoom, tell them.
Yeah,
I see you.
I see them. Okay. All right, so that kind of gives us an idea. It doesn't mean that if you forget to do it, that you can't come.
That's
It's just, we
exactly-
have to have some idea. We don't want to plan for 25 and 50 show up, or we don't want to spend the money for 50 and 25 show up. So, help us out. Okay?
Thank you for giving us that information to go on. Crooked Creek is going to provide a couple of meat cheese trays as well as soft drinks and tea. So we are asking everybody to bring a food item as well. And if you would like wine or beer, bring your own bottle. This will be at the Chapin Town Hall, so we'll be able to do that. We've also planned 3 holiday competition games. Those of you who were there last year might have some idea, I hear people laughing, about what might happen. Let's just say they're going to be very special and there will be a lot of laughs. So, and of course I will depend on volunteers at the time, and if you do not volunteer, you will be volunteered. But expect to have a good time. We have broken those up into different times to give people time to mingle, to eat, and then take a break and let's have a little fun. So games will be at 6:30, 7, and 7:30. And then we will conclude at 8 p.m. to allow time for cleanup. So we do hope that everybody can come. It'll be a great time. We can celebrate our year. We've had a great year and this is a good way to end it. Okay, any questions about the Christmas party?
Is it more like hors d'oeuvre type stuff, or is it more dishes, like side dishes?
Whatever you want to bring.
Oh, anyway, dishes.
Yeah, we plan to have food.
Dinner.
Yeah, that's right. It's dinner time. We try to have good food.
If you get back, think about it 2-3 days from now, and you can't remember what the time was or what the location or anything, all that's on the website. So,
Yeah, everything is on the website. If you want to go to Crooked Creek website, all the details are there. And if you have any questions, you can also reach out to me. Next item on the agenda. Has everybody seen on the Crooked Creek website our annual contest information? This is our May annual contest. The theme is Light It Up. The prospectus is already out there. So you can start thinking about what you might want to enter in the contest.
we've already had one entry.
Uh,
We've already had one.
And we have had one entry already.
That's planning ahead.
Which was wonderful because it allowed us to test everything, make sure everything was working great. So, but look on the website, you'll see all the details. I'm not gonna read everything that's there, but you have plenty of time to get some ideas for your artwork, plenty of time to think about what you want to enter. The theme is Light It Up, which can mean anything, including a sunny morning, a beautiful sunset, reflections on the water, light on the landscape. Just look for the light and show that in your paintings. That's what we're asking. So that can be a lot of different things. For me, it would be an old classic car with a lot of reflections. Those of you who know me. So anyway, your peers will judge the artwork. We will award ribbons at that time. So, but all the details are on the website. Any questions about that?
I have one question. Does it all have to be painting or can it be a 3D object?
Any medium.
Yeah, everything's in the prospectus. That's 2 pages long, so it may take you a little bit to read it. And if there are no other questions, I am going to introduce our presenter for that evening. Everybody ready for that?
Yes.
All right. Kimberly Case is our November presenter, and I'm really excited about her presentation. She is a visual artist focusing on fine art portrait photography. And if any of you have seen her work, it's absolutely amazing. She is the lead photographer and co-owner at Studio 3P in Irmo. And if you really want to see some of her information and her credentials, go to our website and look at the presenter's information. There's numerous awards, and she's done numerous things. The most recent thing, I think, was the State Fair and the Jasper Project.
And I'm part of a group exhibition at the Richland County Public Library.
Awesome. So check all of her information out and check out her website and her information and take a look at some of her beautiful portraits. She's going to talk about some of those tonight. But her presentation is Making the Best of Things, the Pandemic, the Self-Portrait, and the 90-Year-Old Book. And she's going to tell you a little bit about her backstory, the influences in her journey, her thoughts on portraiture, and she's going to delve into how she creates the art seen in her artwork, and you'll see what I mean. So, welcome.
Thank you. When do you need me to wrap up? When do you need me to wrap up by?
She's got a mic, she's fine. She can go where.
When do you need me to wrap up by?
Let's see. We have to be out by 8, so.
Okay.
I have that time to clean up.
Okay, so that's not a problem. Where should I stand so everybody can see? I think I'm mic'd already. Okay. I may end up standing over here so I can see the screen a little bit better. Are the lights okay? Do the lights need to be dimmed? Can y'all see the screen okay? Okay. I don't know what to do about turning
Okay,
my mic
so-
on.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So I need to stand there? Okay.
Yeah, because
Or just carry that mic with you.
no, those are the Zoom people here. Okay, so you're good. You're good. Just use it. Just use
I'm
this.
just crossing.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Okay, can everybody hear me all right?
Yes.
And you can see the screen because my artwork tends to be dark. I want to just make sure that the light.
Just a little while later.
Okay. All right, so my name is Kimberly Case. I'm a portrait photographer. I do fine art portraits. I like to focus on one person or small groups of people, like mother and child, that kind of thing. This is my presentation. I gave it to the Columbia Camera Club a couple months ago, and then I tweaked it to bring it up to date. So here we are. And it's a really interesting format I've got here. So here's a little bit about me. I know you want to know my credentials. Who is this person? That's me. I didn't take that picture. My mentor, Randy Jones, took that picture of me. He tricked me into getting on the backdrop. He said, here, I need to test the lights. And he shot that picture of me. That was really super early on, and I look like I know what I'm doing, but in that picture, I have absolutely no idea. But he did teach me how to stand and smile, so I was a good girl. So next. Okay, so how it got started and how to keep it from ever happening again. Photographers. Next. Don't give your model a camera, or it may just, you're not seeing the screen at home on Zoom. We're gonna want to, because this is cool.
Yeah, can we focus on this presentation for the people on Zoom?
I mean, it's on share screen.
Can you see it now?
Participants can now see your screen.
At home, can y'all see
Got it,
the screen? Can you see who is this person?
Got it. They got it.
Okay,
Okay.
great. Super, super, super.
Okay. There.
Okay, so these are some of my self-portraits. I have I've done a lot of self-portraiture. I really got into self-portraiture during COVID when everything was shut down. I found it hard to bring in models or paying clients, so I just turned the camera on myself like a lot of photographers did. And these are just some of the self-portraits I've done. Next. You don't have to read all that, but this is a cool portrait. Who can tell me the significance of the sweatshirt I'm wearing? Does anybody know who Saint Veronica is? Oh, Saint Veronica is the patron saint of photographers. I had a special Cersei for anybody who knew that, but anyway. There's that's me as Saint Veronica. She, the legend is that on the way to Calvary, she gave Jesus her mantle, he wiped his face, and then there was the imprint of his face on her mantle. So thus, she is the patron saint of photographers and laundry workers. So, that's not a joke, that's real. So here is my gear rundown. The camera club was really super interested in the gear I use. I inherited all but one camera body. I inherited literally many things from my mentor, Randy Jones, who passed in 2020. Bless his heart. But I shoot Nikon, and I love it. So my influences are the photographer William Mortensen, the photographer, self-portrait artist, photographer Brooke Shaden, my mentor Randy Jones, and my business partner William of Carolina. The painters Rembrandt, Caravaggio, Vermeer, and Norman Rockwell. Oh, he's a painter. Oh, those are painters. But anyway, my mentor Randy taught me to turn your face always to the light, to always focus on the eyes, and remember that it's very important what you do with your hands. Those are things he lived and taught me. They go for photography and for life in general as well. It's a dear soul. So people say, how long have you been doing this? My first session was at Studio 3P in 2015. I was a model. That's me on the bottom. And then they moved to a new location in Irmo, where we are now, in 2017. We had the ribbon cutting, and I was just an assistant. I would attend sessions. I would help with wardrobe. I would help with styling. You know, I would run back and forth and make sure your collar looks nice and your hair slipped out and that kind of thing. And then one day, I was handed the camera in the middle of a family session, March 4th. I took that as a call to action. March 4th, 2018, I was handed a camera in the middle of a session, and the rest is history. My mentor Randy said, "You're not doing anything, why don't you take some pictures?" Okay, can we go back to how long have you been doing this?
Oh, sorry.
No, I don't know if we can.
We can.
Okay. Okay, so in March 4th, I shot that picture. June 8th, I shot this picture of the angel. And then a few weeks later, I shot this picture of this little girl. It was really what I wanted to capture. It was the first picture I took where I was like, yeah, that's what I want. Well, the angel too, I was really pleased with, but the little girl really, really was what I was wanting to show. And she did very well at the state fair. Is that it? Did we skip one? I think we're out of order. Okay, can you go back?
Mhm.
Hold on. Go back to maybe there. Okay.
It got jumped ahead. I'm trying to go back where you were. Let's see.
You'll get it. Okay, so how long have you been doing this? There, do you just click here? I mean, okay, so the little girl was shown with sword, won best of show, State Fair of 2018. The model showed up and posed with her picture, which was a fine time because people would come up and say, "That's you," and she said, "It's me." And then my mentor was blessed to be able to see it. He had been stricken with cancer, but was well enough to come out and see. He was extremely proud that night. And it's actually next. So Girl with Sword won the Best of Show in the Professional Fine Art category. The first and only photograph to ever take the prize. In the professional category, it's the only photograph to ever take that prize.
Wow.
I was pretty excited about that. Representing for the photographers. So I've got a camera, I've got a shirt, I've got a hat, and wow, I'm now a photographer. So now we want to go to COVID-19. Yes. So when COVID hit and everything shut down, like I said, I started doing self-portraits just so that I could work out things, I could try new techniques, I could explore feelings that I was having about the pandemic because I knew the world was going to end. And then the Cover Center put out a call for art saying, artists, we know you're out there doing your thing, show us what you're up to. So I sent in my little portfolio and they were blown away and invited me to have a big show the summer of 2021, I guess. I had a 70 piece, it was over 70 pieces by the time I got done. And if you started at one end and went to the end, it told the entire story of 2020 and self-portraits and still life art. It was the biggest display ever shown at the Cover Center, and it took over 7 hours to hang. I thought it was gonna kill me. This piece was one of the first pieces I did, and it ended up being accepted to art fields. It didn't win anything, but I was really, really pleased. I had submitted it to art fields the year before, and it was rejected, but then it got accepted last year. So that was cool. So keep on trying. And here's what I've been up to recently. A bunch of ribbons, and the models I shoot love to be in magazines, so I always send them in and they get in magazines. They feel like they're hot stuff. And then I had a solo show which raised over $4,000 for Ukrainian refugees.
I thought it was going to slide into something.
No, I'm not yet. And then I've started a little group of artists in Irmo, and we've got 3 little venues: the Town Hall, the Craft and Draft, and the Chamber of Commerce. So if you're in Irmo, see if you can get linked up with our little rotation, and you can put up artwork. And I'm pretty excited because we've never had anything like that before, and so far we've done it all year with no drama, and that's just big. Can you go back?
Oh, go back. Sorry.
And then I had a self-portrait in the Something Blue exhibition of Photo SC. And most recently, I was put in an exhibition at the Richland County Public Library downtown. It was all artwork done by Ukrainian and Russian artists. I didn't realize that, so I submitted some pieces and they said, well, it's really for this theme. Do you have anything that fits? And I said, well, my two boys are from Russia. So these are their portraits. We adopted them and brought them over when they were 2.5 and 3, and they brought up here in America. So I was super pleased to be able to be exhibited with these other artists in this cool exhibition. So if you're downtown, check it out. It runs till January. And Olga's got some pieces in there too that were really fantastic. Next.
Ready? Okay.
Thank you, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Last time I went too soon. So go again.
Yeah, one more. Okay, now we're gonna go to creating the aura. So a lot of people are really curious about how I get the aura, how I produce, you know, the feel that you find in my artwork. I think my stuff is pretty recognizable. You can see it and you'll know it's mine. This is how I get the aura. One thing I'll use is my hand painted backdrops. That really gives the images a painterly look just out of the box. I think when the eye looks at the painted backdrop, the eye also assumes everything else is painted. So I get a lot of, oh, you do oil paintings. And I say, no. But these pieces here show some of the different hand painted backdrops that I use. And there's me painting one on the floor in the studio, which I did a lot of in 2020. It was extremely therapeutic. Next. I like a really dramatic lighting. I will often just use one light instead of 4 or 5 like I was trained. I've narrowed it down to just use 1 or 2 lights. Usually for my the compositions, I really like the directional light. People call it Rembrandt lighting. And chiaroscuro is an art term that you may be familiar with, where you have the high contrast of light and shadow. And these are some of the pieces I feel like show that really well. Next. You hear a lot about natural light photographers. Well, I'm a natural light photographer. Can we get back? Back to lighting. Okay, now back from that, sorry.
Go back.
Next is props.
So
We're gonna want to go to the little circle that says props. Okay, so these are some pictures that use some of my fantastical props. I love old things. I love finding things that I can use different ways. The little suitcase is right over there. This little teapot that my friend is sailing away in is on the table, and this is the dragon's egg I made. And I tried to find my tiger mask, but I don't know what I did with it, so I bought another mask that looks kind of like it. But all these are things, the props that just scour thrift stores, garage sales. People find stuff on the side of the road and say, hey, Kim, I thought about you. Can you use this? And I say, absolutely. But I've got so many suitcases. It's crazy. I just like old stuff. And I get a lot of wardrobe from prop departments when they have used sales and stuff like that. Special next might be next.
okay. So keep going forward or go back to the one that we missed.
Go back to that slide where the little dots were.
Oops. Okay.
I think it goes to. Does it not just go?
Yeah,
Through
you had me skip over something that was back here.
Let's go back to it. Okay, well, I think that's just another one of the dots. So wardrobe, yeah. So wardrobe, that goes along with props. I like wardrobe that's old, used, looks real. These are all things I found at Goodwill. The fabric there that you see on the lady at the grape with the grapes is the same fabric that the lady with her upheld hands is wearing. It's just draped a different way. That's one of my favorite wardrobe pieces. It's a beautiful linen and silk blend fabric that just catches the light and is so crinkly and it's just amazing. This was a piece I did for the Chapin Art Project. It depicts young children, the first settlers of Chapin in the pine forest. That is so important to the Chapin area. I'm gonna go next because I think it's going to zoom in on the lady with the grapes. Go back to a wardrobe. And then just, yeah. Okay, that's the lady and she's wearing the fabrics, which is so beautiful. Okay, next. And then it'll take you, I think, to the lady with the corset. That is a pearl corset that I made for a portrait that I was going to be in. It is 10 pounds of hand sewn pearls. I just kept going to the store and buying more pearls and more pearls and more pearls, and it is astounding to behold. And it is 10 pounds. It is 10 pounds to wear.
Wow.
And that poor girl. I killed her.
Yeah, you've been there.
Okay. So here, I use a lot of textures in my images. The textures I use are all textures I've created myself. I'll usually shoot things with my cell phone that catch my eye. This is actually that's a hotel in Charleston. I was staying at the hotel while my dad was having cancer surgery and COVID, and I thought that looks amazing. So I took a picture of the floor. This is the floor of a spa on a Carnival cruise ship, and this is making the stars in this image. And that's fluffy stuff is the bottom of a parking garage. And I've used it to give a cloud look here. I turned it upside down. This is straight out the camera, and this is the final image. And that's me playing around with wardrobe. I did this for a patron. She said, all I want is your style, wolf. So I created this. I'm the queen of the night sky, kicking back, howling at the moon. And as you can see, my foot is really on the moon. It's a little night light. People say, oh, you photoshopped that in. How are you holding your foot up like that? I said, well, my foot's actually on the moon. That's not Photoshop. Wow. It's funny. People think some stuff's Photoshop that's not, and vice versa. That's what we can go on to the next one. It's probably another post-processing one. There on that far side is straight out of the camera, an image that I shot, the self-portrait. I was having a pity party because an art show got canceled because of COVID, and I didn't have lemons, so I just used pears because it was COVID and you couldn't get stuff. But that's me having a pity party for myself, and then I used this really cool texture I got at 701 Whaley and put it behind me there. And Rob Shaw gave me that giant frame, and I had to think about something cool to do with it, and then I came up with that. This is called That First Step. So I don't really do too much really special effects in Photoshop, but sometimes you just have to. This fella came in with his entire Ghostbusters get up, and I was like, oh, well, I know what we have to do, you know. So we went to town and I did a lot of special effects. I added the glows and the sparks and the, I don't know what all else, and I floated the library cards there, if you remember that scene from Ghostbusters. This is a rainbow baby. The rainbow baby is the baby you have after you've lost a baby. The rainbow baby is the next baby that follows that rainbow baby. So I added the rainbow behind there. And this is me, it's my Halloween costume with Willy Wonka. As I get older, I find myself identifying with Willy Wonka a lot more. Mysterious, reclusive, eccentric, loves candy, doesn't tolerate ill-mannered children, prefers to work alone. That's kind of, we have a lot of things in common. Next, it should zoom in on some of the pictures. I don't know what those red lines are, but this is just where I've really taken a lot of texture and added it into this, and kind of given it more of a worked over look in Photoshop. I do that sometimes, just when I want to make something look even more artistic. It should go, I think, over to a girl. Same kind of.
I don't know where those red lines came from either.
Oh. Okay. So composition, my biggest composition influence is an old photographer from the early days of photography called William Mortensen. That's where I get the 90-year-old book from. His book, Command to Look, is fantastic on composition. You can get the originals, but they're several $100s. It's been reprinted. I've got a copy of the reprint over there. I will warn you that the reprint has got a lot of stuff in the back that you might just want to like rip out and throw in the garbage. Just be warned, but his stuff's good. So he has, he says that there are three main composition forms that really attract the eye and grab the thought. The strong diagonal, sharp triangles, the S curve, and also just the large mass in the center. We all know the large mass in the center, but here are some examples of the strong diagonal. If you click that, strong diagonal, the sharp angles and triangles, and then the S curve is obvious. That's very well known to people, artists and photographers. And then another one that I really like is the spiral that you'll see in a lot of artwork. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to just jump in and ask me or raise your hand. But here's the spiral composition. I kind of liked into that. I didn't plan that one with the squirming baby, but I was pretty proud of myself. Okay, well, okay, so I sometimes make stuff. So a lot of my props I have to make myself. That outfit is from a t-shirt, and I wanted to have a super cool texture in the back, so I painted it with the gel and then shot it with my cell phone and then put it into my
Where are these red lines coming
You
from?
must have highlighted turned on or something.
But I haven't touched it, so I don't know why
Anyway,
they're.
so there's another spiral that comes in on the angel at this point in the cool presentation. Okay, so now we get to the question of portrait photography, self-portraits. I do a lot of self-portraits. I got into it during 2020, during COVID, but I found that I really enjoy working with myself as a model because I'm always ready to shoot. I kind of get the concept already, and I don't usually cancel on myself. So, you know, everybody does self-portraits. Whenever you take an art class, isn't that one of the first things you do is you do a self-portrait? Students always do self-portraits. So, you know, photographers also do self-portraits. But in photography is the only artistic medium where the self-portrait is questioned. Like, oh, you're so vain. Why are you taking pictures of yourself? Well, a painter can paint themselves all day long, but you take a picture of yourself and suddenly you're vain. I don't know. That's something I've heard, you know, like, you're so obsessed with yourself. Well, I don't know. I'm there. You know? So this is me setting up on the far end. I'm setting up for a self-portrait. I use that little, the little burst to help sight my camera in so that I'm somewhat in focus most of the time. I'll sight it in and then move it to the side. And you can see on the floor is the little trigger. I'll sometimes do it with my toe and get back into position. I think for this one, it was actually here. And then I just photoshopped it out. Here's me actually falling off a piece of an apparatus in the middle of taking a self-portrait. Yay. I was trying to do this as like a, yeah, I was trying to do the zodiac. I thought, well, I'll do the zodiac. I'll do all the people, all the animals and creatures of the zodiac. Yeah, that's Pisces. And then, like I said, I fell off. I did fall. I fell right into a C-stand. It could have been so bad because I couldn't do anything because my legs were, anyway. So why do self-portraits? You have a free model. It's easy to schedule. You don't have to have any model release. You don't have to worry about jealous boyfriends. Very little drama. You generally get your own concept and don't have to explain it. The wardrobe, you know what's going to fit. You don't have to sometimes I ask models, okay, now what size are you? And they'll say, I'm a 4, and they'll show up and they're not a 4. So they have to redo the whole wardrobe. The downside of having yourself as a model is if your model's a diva, it's a big problem. So. Yeah, these are just funny things that people say to me sometimes about portraits and photography and stuff. People, some people maintain that photography is not real art because it's so easy.
Yeah, it's not easy.
If people tell me they don't want pictures of themselves, that's a struggle. You know, I say, you should come have your portrait done. And they say, oh no, I don't want my portrait done. I don't like pictures myself. And so we haven't had it done right yet. It's been said that I actually took a survey that people would rather go to the dentist than have their portrait done. They won't buy pictures of people they don't know. This is my bestseller. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
It's like a painting.
And it really, well, I think a lot of that's because of the texture that I put on, the overlay texture. That was me in a really difficult time trying to figure out where I fit in the world. That's really kind of how I felt. And I have had people, one lady chased me from like venue to venue over like a couple months trying to find that picture so she could buy it. She would see it on Facebook and go to the place and it would already have moved to a different place. So finally we connected in West Columbia and she was in tears.
Wow.
So I had to write on the back of it very specially to her. So people will buy pictures of people they don't know if it speaks to them. Thank you. Oh, it's my bestseller. Is this where we are? Or did we skip one? I don't remember. Okay.
We were.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep, okay.
Okay, we got it. Yeah. Okay, so what is next? What is next? So right now I'm in the last stages of an exhibition or an exhibit I've been working on for a couple of years called The Tools of the Trade. I got a grant from the South Carolina Arts Commission, so I'm going to be producing it, and hopefully I'll have it on display maybe in January. But it's various people with the tools of their trade, either literally or figuratively. Like this is a band leader. He is Riverland Hills, if you know him. His name's Cap. But he'll be in it, and other people. Like I have a waxing specialist with the tools of her trade. I have models and students and various other people. So I think it'll be a really intriguing exhibition. And then they have all written stuff about the past couple of years and things that they've been through. So I think it'll be pretty cool.
Did you want to go back?
Yeah, go back to that one. Also, I'm working on a collaboration with a couple other artists. It's a multidisciplinary art project. I don't know if it's going to get off the ground, but the theory behind it is there's a space traveler who is traveling on a one-way journey, collecting information, discoveries about other worlds, sending them back to Earth. She doesn't know if they're getting them. She doesn't know the effect of her reports, but she's just doing her job. And, you know, the world she sees and the things she deals with as she's traveling. I'm the space traveler, but then the other people are writing the diary and making the artifacts and maybe writing music to go behind it. So if that comes to fruition, that's going to be fantastic. It's really going to be something to go see. And one of the things I got recently, actually not so recently, but about 9 months ago, was some equipment from the South Carolina Arts Commission. They gave me some money to allow me to shoot tethered. And they gave me a nice boom to hold my camera, because before I got those equipment pieces, I had to put my camera on a beanbag, on a chair, on a step stool, on a ladder, on the floor. And I would take a picture with my remote and I would get up and I would run over and I would look and see if I got anything. And I was like, oh no, that was nothing at all. So then I'd have to go try it again and I'd come back and look again. Oh yeah, that was almost with focus. And so there was a lot of running back and forth. So now I can do it while I'm seated in place, and it speeds up the process a lot better, and I can really nail my positioning a lot better. Oh, almost done. So I appreciate you watching my show and listening to my talk and all that. If you have any questions, please let me know, because I meant to tell you to interrupt me in the middle of everything. And you can follow me on Facebook by scanning that QR code, and maybe the Instagram one works. I don't know if the red line is going to throw that up or not. Yes.
What type of camera do you use?
Nikon, Nikon D. Not a gearhead.
Yeah, it still works.
Okay, good. One of the newer Nikons, but not the newest.
The digital?
Yes, digital. I shoot digital. I used to shoot film. I started with film, but digital is just the way to go now. A lot of people enjoy film, and it's a good challenge, and you can do a lot of creative, artistic things with it. But for me, I'm just a visual girl.
No, it's fun.
She was second place advanced color photography at the state fair. That was a test shot during a lighting class. I teach lighting classes. I teach lighting classes, and I tell the photographers, it's this much if you want a class, and it's extra if I've got to get a model for you. So bring your own model. And that's who the photographer showed up with. So I made her sign a model release. I said, you mind if I take some pictures too?
Yeah, she's beautiful.
She was gorgeous. Her face tells everything. She sent me a picture of herself standing beside that at the state fair. And she said that she just stood there and people came up to it and were saying, you know, how beautiful she was. And this woman is elegant, and her eyes say everything. And she just was standing there just streaming tears. And, she's going on to do a lot more modeling. She's gorgeous. Oh, I'm not sure. I would say probably 20, 21. And I brought many props and things if you want to look at them, if you have any questions. Did anybody have any other questions?
Do you have advertising?
No. No, but I will tell you, my people are finding me. This kind of portraiture is not for everybody. My number one client request is, can I be a Viking? So I've done like so many. So what you see me posting and sharing here is mostly just creative projects, friends and models and self-portraits. My client work I don't share as much because of course that's between me and my client. It's up to them to share if they want to, but I keep it private because of the contractual agreement. But my number one request is Vikings. My number two request is Ghostbusters. Sometimes people come with one image. They're like, I want this. I want this for my Christmas card, or I want this for this poster for my birthday. And we will shoot for that one image they want. Or they'll come and they'll want a whole book, and we'll do a normal session. I had a couple come and they wanted their Christmas card to be zombie. They were going to be zombie hunters. So they came in their clothing with their zombie weapons, and they brought a horde of their friends, and we piled their friends at their feet and shot them. And I shot the people individually so I could Photoshop it into a bigger pile of zombie victims. And they stood above their friends with their weapons like they had just slaughtered all the zombies. But their friends came and they were not zombified. They just showed up in their street clothes. I'm like, y'all, you're supposed to be zombies with porn stuff and blood coming out of your mouths and whatever. So I had to like Photoshop in muddy feet and like torn raggedy jeans and like zombify their faces with blood coming out. And I like did so much work on that, but it turned out to be really awesome. I think it's on my Facebook page and I know it's on Instagram.
I saw it.
I posted that. I got permission to post that around Halloween, so.
You did say your most popular piece was the one with the umbrella on the tightrope, right?
Yes, I will produce some work and put it in, like I've got some work at a spa and on State Street here and there, and people will buy things. And that's my number one piece. I've sold several copies of that one. Maybe. It's for older pieces, so it's been around for a while. It's been here and there.
So your props are unusual. What do you look for? What are you looking for in a prop? Like what works?
I like old things that feel real. Some of my props I've had since I was a little girl. Literally, I've just been like, oh, this is cool, and I love this thing, and then I'll try to work it into a picture. At my studio, I've got about 1,000 square feet of just storage, and it's piled like a hoarder. It's floor to ceiling, and one day the whole women's wear section fell, and it took me like a month to just steel myself to go in there and address it, because it was like horrifying. But I've got hats, I've got suitcases, I've got tin cans, I've got eggs, I've got quail's eggs, goose eggs, duck eggs, ostrich eggs, chicken eggs. I've got just potato sacks, coffee sacks, sugar sacks. It's all, if you name something, I can find it within like 12 inches within 5 minutes. So my business partner, William, he's like, I don't go in there. You'll get stuff for me when I ask for it. I said, yes, I will. Don't go in there. Usually I go with Nations, but I did have a struggle with Nations with I called her Lady with Grapes, but now I think I call her Green-Eyed Lady. I had a struggle. I send my stuff in, ask them, don't color correct it. The first print came back, I think it was red, and then the second print, I called them, I'm like, don't color correct my stuff. They sent it and it came back yellow. I called them, I said, what are y'all doing? And they said, yeah, we see the note where you said don't color correct it, but we did anyway. I said, well, don't. And they sent it again at no charge. And it was green. She looked terrible. I said, y'all stop it. So then I went with Day, and it got scratched at the frame shop. So I had to order another one. So that's why she's here, because she's actually got a big scratch on her. The one that I finally put in the fair is in a nice frame, and it weighs a half a ton. But usually I use Nations, but I had a real struggle with them. So sometimes I use Bay. Yeah. Any other questions? I love talking about stuff. Usually I use the hand painted backdrops that I paint myself. Yeah. So I've got some solids I use. Like if I'm doing pinup, I'll usually use a solid. Some things I'll use a solid, but I love my hand painted backdrops. It's kind of exclusive to me. I don't know if there's anybody else around here who paints them. I've got some really nice old masters that are like from Sears. Randy showed one to me with pride. He said, this one's older than you are. I got it from my Sears. And it is indeed gorgeous. But I like mine because I don't have to take care of them. I can just throw them up, and if I mess them up or rip them, I can just patch them and paint them again. Warren Driggers, when he closed down, well, first I bought some stuff from him, and then at the end he was like, just come get some stuff because I got to be out of here by 5. So he gave me many things from his studio. If you know Warren Driggers, he was swell and passed on a lot of great things that I'm looking forward to using soon.
Anything else?
So what's your next project?
Well, I'm glad you asked me. Well, my next client project is I'm taking some pictures of a little boy and a little girl. He's going to wear his football uniform, and she's going to wear her ballet outfit. But after that, I realized that the Richland County Sheriff's Department has I think it's a drug dog named Kodak. So I reached out to them and they wrote back saying, tell me more. So I'm kind of in the middle of trying to bring Kodak in for some pictures. I do love animal photography. I work with ducks. I work with rabbits. I work with dogs. Yeah, animals are fun. They're kind of like little kids. I'll work with the animal. I'll work with a dog, and I'll say, now move your. Because they don't listen like that. I'll let them try and move your head just a little bit to the side. So you have to work with them a little differently. I like working with models. They're a lot of fun. They come in all varieties. One thing I like to tell my female clients and models is to, raise your hand up and kind of act like you're smoking a cigarette, because it gives you a really nice hand gesture. Well, I told one model, I said, raise your hand like you're smoking a cigarette. And she went. I said, "No, not that kind of cigarette. Not that kind of cigarette." So, really loud. And then I showed her how to smoke a cigarette. But we have a ton of fun. People come and they're nervous, but we just have a blast and work it out. Any other questions?
Thank you very much for your presentation. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. So thanks again. So, I mean, this is very informative, and I'm sure there's a lot of this that you can use in the painting as far as composition and everything else. Dude, you're not done yet. You have to give the numbers.
Oh,
I need a number first from 1 to 40 for door prizes. Choose somebody else. That's me. I'm sorry, but I don't need
27.
27. That's you. I think you like the letter K. I think you like the letter K.
I took 22, which is my choir robe number at church. So
Well, nope, you weren't 22, you're 24.
Okay, we'll
I
see.
mean,
We'll do
27.
22. We'll do 22 then.
22, Yvonne Meyer. Okay, another number between 1 and 40.
40. Okay, we'll do 40.
40, Raja. Right here.
And this was done.
1 to 20. This is a Zoom.
Okay. 17.
17. Erdl. Erdl Kaba. Wherever you are. Yep, there he is over there.
He's on the phone.
He's on the phone. All right, congratulations. Those are our door prize winners. And thank you again. It was very good. One other thing I wanted to remind you, we have the postcards for the jury show over here. Please take one, mail them to a friend, or take 2 or 3, mail them to friends to let them know about Crooked Creek Art League. And that was the postcard winner last year from our jury show. So please make sure that you do that. I do want to add one comment. The Chapin Magazine Arts edition that's coming out January. I don't know if you've kept up, but they lowered the price of $200 a page. So if you're interested and you have not signed up, it did go to $200. It was, I think, $300 and $500.
It was gonna be 300 and each additional page was gonna be 200.
Yeah.
So now it's just like, because some people want like 3 pages, and so I'm like, it's just 200 a page, no matter what. If you want 1 page, it's 200. If you want 2 pages, it's 200 a page.
And some of you have some beautiful work that'd be nice to put out there for people to see, Kimberly. Anyway, Thank you, very much. Is there anybody got an announcement they want to make? Okay, if not, make sure you get your dishes, make sure you take your abstracts down and hang your pictures for the tab gallery this time before you leave. And I'm adjourning this meeting for the Crooked Creek Art League. Don't forget the Christmas party. It's going to be fun. I promise.